I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I like to move it, move it.
Hello amigos, welcome to Move It Movie. Today we are introducing a thrilling time travel movie, The Tomorrow War. The satisfying story and plenty of entertaining action make The Tomorrow War well worth a watch. In The Tomorrow War, the world is stunned when a group of time travelers arrive from the year 2051 to deliver an urgent message. 30 years in the future, mankind is losing a global war against a deadly alien species. The only hope for survival is for soldiers and civilians from the present to be transported to the future and join the fight. Among those recruited is high school teacher and family man Dan Forrester, Chris Pratt. Determined to save the world for his young daughter, Dan teams up with a brilliant scientist, Yvonne Strahovski, and his estranged father, J.K. Simmons, in a desperate quest to rewrite the fate of the planet. Among those recruited is high school teacher and family man Dan Forrester, Chris Pratt, but in disappointing fashion, we learn through exposition, in the first lines of the movie, that underneath his everyday cardigan-wearing exterior is the mind and body of a former U.S. Army Special Forces soldier, because of course. Pratt also played an ex-Navy SEAL in Jurassic World. Tom Cruise is an ex-Navy SEAL in the Mummy reboot. Vin Diesel is an ex-Navy SEAL in The Pacifier. Toby Stephens is former Special Forces in Lost in Space. In almost every action movie made in modern times, this cliched plot device indicates that the character has an especially impressive skill set. The time traveler's message, or cry for help across time, is delivered to the world during the FIFA World Cup final in Qatar, during the winter of 2022, just 18 months from now, between Brazil and an unidentifiable team, probably a rights issue. The score is tied 3-3, with about 90 seconds or so left. When suddenly, in front of the 80,000-seat Lusail Stadium, a time portal opens on the pitch. With the whole world watching, a team of soldiers from the future emerges through a cloud of sparks and smoke. The World Cup is being played in the winter because of the extreme heat during the summer, and Forrester is outside in his high school-issue cardigan, suggesting he's somewhere warmish. We assume it's Florida, based on several references to Miami's football team, the Dolphins. It's evening, and Forrester is with a group of friends and family watching the game, which would also be played during the evening in Qatar, but the U.S. East Coast is 8 hours behind Qatar time, so that doesn't quite add up. Minor grumbles aside, the film does get into the action pretty quickly, in under 8 minutes, in fact. However, to accomplish this, the movie schemes over one or two pretty major plot points in a blink, and you'll miss the summary montage. First, we learn that soldiers were recruited before the situation became so dire that civilians were needed. Still, it seems that the world's armed forces weren't able to defeat the alien invaders. We also learn why December 2022 was chosen as the point to return to. It could be said that the whole world was watching the tournament final on television, so the message could effectively be transmitted around the globe. But then why not wait another 8 years or so, when weapons technology might be just that little bit more advanced? And what about bringing military hardware to the future? Squadrons of ground support aircraft like A-10s, or even tanks? One significant issue with time travel that's guaranteed to be ignored in every movie or TV show that incorporates it is that the planet Earth moves through space. Take Back to the Future for example. Marty McFly travels from the car park of Twin Pines Mall on October 26, 1985 to the Peabody Farm on November 5, 1955, in essence the same location. But he traveled in time, not in space, so the fact that the dates are different means that the Earth was in a different place in its orbit. To all intents and purposes, Marty should have appeared in the middle of space, simultaneously freezing and suffocating and destined to continue traveling through the cosmos by way of inertia for all eternity, because Southern California was 16 million miles, 26 million kilometers, further around the sun. Incorporating this fact could have meant colossal kudos being heaped upon this movie, but sadly, it was not to be. We learn that to qualify to be sent 29 years into the future, you must have died, at some point in the future, before 2051 to prevent a paradox. What they're all forced to confront upon arrival, whether they're ready or not, is an army of albino creatures known as white spikes. They scamper and gnash, have tentacles that strangle and slash, and they make a staccato growl like the sound you hear in Predator. They also look extremely cheesy, either individually or en masse. There's something jumpy not only about the way they move, but also about how the giant action scenes are edited. They have a slick, incessant mania to them that's distancing. It certainly doesn't help that everything is smothered with a barrage of gunfire and Lorne Balfe's overwhelming score. Through it all, Pratt runs, grunts, shoots or yells no in slow motion. A lot. And that's some of his more believable work here. Less impressive are his scenes with Yvonne Strahovski as the no-nonsense colonel. Delivering orders, she connects with him, in part, because of his military background. The Handmaid's Tale standout is also the actor who emerges the most unscathed from this slog, delivering clunky, expository dialogue within this wild setting with surprising understatement. Pratt, however, seems outmatched opposite her. In the last half hour, the Tomorrow War finally gives in completely to its alien influences, with ear-splitting shrieks and blood and yellow-green fluid squishing and spewing everywhere. It's as if a ballpark condiment bar became sentient and turned evil. This is the point at which things finally teeter over into so bad it's good territory, but by then, it's too late. And anyway, in the future, no one can hear you scream.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it.